over the top just for refund and take back what's yours. Happy to help you save.
Hi guys, welcome to Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1.
The free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas. Wait, are you saying you get real money back when you get gas with the upside? Yes, I get real cash back every time I get gas. Is that actually add to anything? I'll make around $200 to $300. Wow, that's serious extra cash. Right, you're paying gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? It's like free money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now. Use this promo code to get an extra 25 cents a gallon cash bonus on your first tank. Thanks.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. Download the free Upside app now. Earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AWAY25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank.
Did you download the Upside app yet? Yes, of course. I got password free. I'm earning real cash back every time I get gas.
Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AWAY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. If you drive, you need Upside. Earn cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Plus, you can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. So whether you're driving around town a couple times a week or driving hundreds of miles every day, Upside is for you. Don't wait. Some Upside users are making as much as $200 to $300. Download the free Upside app and use promo code AWAY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code AWAY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When I started my build, it was just a problem solution, one chronic company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, $25. My Pillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our big 4-pack towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all kinds of fabric, any size, any body level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for a $25 extravaganza.
The reason
Order
I've come here
$75
is because you're holding on to something for Class 7, right?
Absolutely free.
The best things in life, they come in twos.
Yours is the one on top.
Let's see.
2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up.
Oh,
And now,
no
buy
thanks.
any phone
I completely forgot about these.
I'm
and
really
get
sorry.
2 months of
It's taken so
service
long.
free.
Class
That's
7
right, 2
curriculum
months
is
free.
different from
All
any
of
of
the
the other
same
classes.
fast,
And
reliable,
it's even easier to get
nationwide
our credit
coverage
back
and
for
big
them.
wireless.
So
Make
this
a
should
switch
become
today.
called 7.
Call, go online, or visit a store
Reading
near you.
these notebooks have
That's 2 times the
information in
savings
them
and the
about...
best deal of the year.
Yes. All the student
You've
notebooks
heard about
still have
Balance of
instruction
Nature's fruits
manuals
and
for their
veggies long
accompanying
enough.
battle
It's time to try them with 50% off. Our best
And the
discount
other
ever.
first years are
Enjoy
always
a
in the same
30-day
place as
money-back
last year.
guarantee
So we
and
could
free
just use
shipping.
last year's
Don't wait any longer. Use
But the
discount
archetype
code
you're
Fox
using
News.
works quite differently, so we had to write a
Never
whole
worry that
new
you're
set of
using too
directions from
much.
scratch.
Take back control with Core Help.
That makes
Core
sense.
Help provides
But
access to
wait.
medication proven to make it easier to drink less.
Just me?
Or you could
Instructor
drink
Sarah
together.
asked me to do it on her behalf.
Qualify for
It's
treatment
my
today
fault this
at
has taken so long.
WordHelp.com.
I'm really sorry.
No. If anything, it sounds like we owe you a huge debt of
President
gratitude
Obama
for
and
so much time and
Nancy
effort into it.
Pelosi are reportedly
Is that
expressing
really
concerns
part of the
Friday
student
about
council's
Joe
job,
Biden's
though?
ability to win in
It
November.
seems more like something our instructor should be handling herself.
Technically,
Hey,
you're
good
right.
morning, Holly and Todd.
But she's
For
always so
CNN,
busy.
former President Obama and former
And I
House
help
Speaker
out the other
Nancy
instructors
Pelosi
a
have
lot
spoken
too. So I
privately
don't
about
mind
the
lending my
president's
hand from time
campaign
to
and
time.
have mentioned how much more difficult it's become to beat former President Trump.
Too nice.
CNN reporting Obama's deep skepticism about his friend's ability to win
So
re-election.
you
It's
just
one
need
of
me
the
to give
worst
these to the
kept
other
secrets
students
in
in Class
Washington.
7, right?
When the history of this extraordinary
please.
2-week
I really
period of
appreciate
American
that you
politics is
always
written,
do too.
the fingerprints of Obama and Pelosi will
What do
be
you
far
mean?
more apparent than
I heard
currently
all
known.
about it from
People
Instructor
familiar with the
Sarah.
matter tell CNN, as the Democratic
She
elders
said
have
we
served
agreed to
as
help
a
out the student
guidepost
council with our work,
in panic.
right?
The chairman of Pocket 21 suggests there may be a rift between Obama
Great start here at the Academy.
The fact of the matter is, I think there's a reason why Barack
I'm not sure what
Obama
you're
didn't
talking
endorse
about.
him in
Didn't you
2020.
wanted to help
Asked
use our
him not to
workload?
run
Something
in
about wanting to better
2016.
yourself? You were
And
worthy of being a part of the
he's the
class.
incumbent
You said you
president
were all really keen to
waited
help out.
until
So
he
I
had
should try
wrapped
to
up the
delegate some of my
nomination
duties to you.
before he would endorse him. The two people actually
Thank you, my
don't
dear.
like each other.
I leave everything in your
It has been
capable
widely
hands.
reported that President Biden and former President Obama have a
Wow,
complicated but loyal relationship. The bitterness from the
Did I
Biden
misunderstand
campaign
her or something? Oh,
expressed
how
his doubt
embarrassing.
towards the Biden's,
I
towards
didn't mean
President
to start
Biden's
trying to force
presidential
work onto you when you told me.
aspirations.
Oh.
CNN also reported the
There's no
president
way I
has
can
become
turn
more
it down.
stage manager throughout
No,
his
no.
term.
Inspector Sarah's absolutely right. Your plate is as full as I've seen it, so
it is
I can help you
customary
in any way.
for
Please,
cabinet
let me.
officials to submit questions and answer points
I thought
that
there
they
had been
plan
a
to
terrible
present and
misunderstanding there for a
time to
moment.
White House aides.
But
And the
don't
meetings
worry,
themselves
I
are
won't give you anything
infrequent,
too
with one
difficult.
cabinet secretary
It'll
telling
mostly just be
CNN
fulfilling
they are
questions
uncertain
people
Biden's
in the
condition
Academy
because they
and
so
interested.
rarely see him.
Requests?
The
Yep.
White House reportedly
Sometimes people
responded to the
send us
statement from
and
Agricultural
listening, they'd like us
Secretary
to do
Tom
for them.
Vilsack
And
on
we
the
try to help out
process.
however we
Standard
can.
practice
I'll
for
put some
any
extra to do by the end
administration
of the
because
day.
there shouldn't
And
be
drop them to your
surprises
mailbox at your
in
dorm
cabinet
tomorrow morning.
meetings.
Will that be okay with you?
Sure thing. Thanks.
Full cabinet meetings reportedly 9 months ago. Maddie, thank you so much. Our Biden allies believe the president, quote, stuck the landing and delivered at his NATO press conference, despite moments like this.
Does go
Look,
wrong.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President
Daddy.
Trump to be Vice
I
President,
believe she wound up
but I
treating
think she's
her in
not
the
qualified to be
cafeteria.
president. So let's start there. Ladies and gentlemen,
She's still got
President,
more student council work to do yet.
President
How
Bush,
is she so busy?
you can beat President Bush, President Zelensky. I'm so focused on being Putin, we gotta worry about it. Anyway,
Hello?
President,
This is Reen Schwarzer speaking.
Dog, my favorite little bunch of teens. I hear you had a nice
It's shocking
little
to
dinner date
know
with
that
the
the media
council
wasted
president.
absolutely no time beginning the resuscitation effort
If
of
this is
Joe
how you
Biden.
treat your
After two
favorite
whole
little
weeks of asking
wunderkind,
questions, let's
I
take a
dread to
watch
think
at
how you
that
treat people you
resuscitation
don't
effort.
like. Would you care to explain
Haven't
why
they
you've
had
been
him
signing me
doing
up for
a
things
lot
behind my
more
back?
things? That really is about as comfortable as it's going to get.
There was a note at the beginning where he said Vice President Trump instead of Vice President Harris, but he did have lengthy answers on other predictors that he knows very well.
It's fair to say there were obviously some resistance, there were some periods of haltiness, but also periods of genuinely impressive from the
I
same
have a feeling half the reason they're as busy as they are is
It's
because of
just
certain instructors. But alright, I'm happy to play along. Basically, you just want me to spend my free day tomorrow helping the student council, right?
Oh, that's entirely up to you. If there's a club you're interested in joining, far be it from me to force you away from it.
No, to be honest, I still haven't found one that really clicks with me, so that won't be a problem. There is one question I'd like to ask though.
again were handpicked for a reason.
Why me,
Reporters
exactly?
to call on.
This seems like the kind of
Didn't
task
hear
typically
questions
entrusted to
around,
the class
for
president
instance,
or vice
I'll
president.
read them
So,
for you actually. This is the
Emma
questions that I
or
would have
Marcus.
asked, okay?
And even if you
How
were
can
choosing based on social
Mr.
class,
President
Lucius and
have been
Laura were
cabinet
both born into noble
since
families.
October,
I wasn't.
9
So
months,
what makes
when the world
me
was
so
seemingly
special
on
exactly?
fire. I don't think that would be a pretty good
Well,
question.
it says
There wasn't
you're
one question about Biden's
effective
refusal
past
to
Pardon?
release his medical records. Not one question about a Parkinson's doctor visiting the White House on several occasions. Do you have a neurological condition or disease, sir? Would have been a pretty good question to ask. Not one question about, by the way, the cost of living in this country being up 20%. Not one on inflation. Is that incredible? Number one issue in the election. Finally get this guy to a press conference, and no one asked that question. Not one question about gas prices up 50%. Not one question
There's
about
never been a conference like this before, after all.
immigrants
So there you
coming
have
into
it.
this country
Being
illegally,
filled
including
all over
hundreds
the place.
on the FBI terror
All
watch
in
list.
your
Not one
court now.
question about Hunter Biden now apparently being the official chief of staff to the President of the United States. So
what are you
when you add it
drinking?
all up, and yes, I guess he stuck the landing
And I
like a
stopped
Boeing
wasting
plane.
away in my
But
room,
considering
imbibing
what we saw
libations.
last night with all those gaffes, I'm sorry, if this is the bar, which is basically a speed bump, then great, he passed it. That is the bad news for Democrats at this point, guys. Okay? He did well enough
Such a man
in the
is
MSNBC world where he now can
are
say,
you okay?
see, I got this, and now Democrats can't say you gotta leave, because they'll say, look, I did fine during that press conference, well, she got in,
It seems like you're desperately trying to find.
On that point,
But if you don't plant yourself somewhere,
said that
You're just gonna
this
blow
press
away
conference was
when
the
the next
worst
big
possible
guest comes
outcome
along.
for his party unless you were Hunter Biden and
And
need a
that
pardon,
note,
suggesting
make
their
sure you're back in
well
the door by
enough to
curfew, and all
prolong his
transgressions
candidacy.
will be
Moving
forgiven.
forward. There was one question that was notable. The answer was even more so. The reporter was asking about Kamala Harris.
If I don't plant myself somewhere,
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump,
maybe I should
would
just
you
try and
reconsider
go
your
with the flow
decision
and
to
see
stay
what
in
comes of it.
race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you could win. Me. No one's saying that. No poll says that.
No one's saying that. No poll says that. Well, somebody in his campaign might want to show him this NBC News report that says several of President Joe Biden's closest allies, including 3 people who are directly involved in efforts to re-elect him, told NBC News they now see his chances of winning as 0, and the likelihood of him taking down fellow Democrat candidates is growing. He needs to drop out, one Biden campaign official said. He will never recover from this. This is coming from inside his own campaign, Joe.
If he stays in the race, it's over. Okay, I always wanted to do that. Like, why is Biden do the whisper thing? I'm not quite sure. He is down in North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan. He is tied in states like New Mexico, New Hampshire, New Jersey. Pick your new state, right? Maine, Minnesota, Virginia. He's not nimble enough to defend all those states and win back those swing states. So right now, Donald Trump is looking like your 47th president. We still have 114 days to go. But you tell me what changes on the ground in terms of inflation, in terms of all these things that made him unpopular before the debate in the first place, guys.
Before we let you go, get your thoughts on this quickly. Okay, Washington Post op-ed says the following. As a result, viewers of Fox News understood the president's condition better than our audiences, which ought to be a huge wake-up call for us. Quickly, 10 seconds. Will that wake-up call be heeded?
Of course it will not. Right? We have eyesight, we have hearing, and we have sanity, and that's why we covered the president's cognitive decline. It's not a very complicated story to cover. Yet now everybody's catching up back. We were so surprised. No surprise, you purposely ignored it. Stop it with the sleepwalking nonsense.
The last leak theory was a conspiracy until it was right. Hunter Biden's laptop was a conspiracy until it was right. And Joe Biden's cognitive issues were also a conspiracy until they are right. Joe, thank you so much.
Sticking a landing like an Airbus over there.
No. All right, here's a new concern for the Biden-Harris campaign. The head of the United Auto Workers Union doesn't think the president can beat Donald Trump.
Did you say the word union against Biden? Wow, and the Biden campaign is in Detroit today, too. No shock there. Show the Sony here with the details right after this.
Behold, 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes.
Anybody who owns a property should worry about home title theft. There's no other crime that is so easy, so quick, and so lucrative.
Your home, your equity, and your peace of mind can all be stolen in one fell swoop by home title thieves like Matthew Cox.
Nobody thinks that I can take their house. Nobody thinks that.
Believe it or not, a single-page document is all it takes to transfer proof of ownership out of your name.
People think there's a whole huge process, but the truth is, it's one page document.
But it still doesn't.
When someone comes in with a project, all the spaces are filled in. We have to accept it. We cannot give it back to them and say, we know this is fraudulent, we're not going to file. That's against the law. It's public records. It's a reporting system. They don't make a phone call. If they record it, that's all they do. Bottom line is, yes, it happens, and we can't stop it from happening. And it only takes once for it to sting you. And it's a very sad thing to watch. You put your love into a house, and all of a sudden, it might not be yours. It's a devastating crime.
Today, home title lock will monitor your title and stuff. Learning to use suspicious activity.
Oh, another lucky one. Go figure.
Looking hotels.com app to find your perfect somewhere.
Faulkner puts America's news in focus.
Living in here, demanding answers.
Don't miss the Faulkner Focus. Weekdays at 11 on Fox News Channel. Here's
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are not. But you feel free to say no around other kids. I can live drug-free when I was younger. But that's my kids. Drugs are wrong. But how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Call Good Track to get real-time support.
Every pattern I was making was something faster. When I found out about working evaluating, I was sitting inside for that moment. Oh, talking with someone saying, I'm not even dead. 14 years. I thought that was possible. And it made me that possible.
Did he have some concerns about the Biden Harris campaign, and he's sure they can beat Donald Trump, this according to a new report.
Cheryl, could somebody from our Super This is here with all the details. Hi, Cheryl. Good morning to both of you. So that is right. President Biden obviously is going to be heading to Auto Country, Detroit, Michigan, today. And as the president of the UAW has reportedly, according to Reuters, told the union's board he's worried that Trump could beat Biden. According to Reuters, quote, United Auto Workers President Sean Payne met with the union's executive board late on Thursday to discuss his deep concerns with President Joe Biden's ability to defeat Donald Trump in the November election. And despite recent surveys pointing to consumers' dissatisfaction with their EV purchases, the Biden administration is planning to spend $1.7 billion in funding to convert 11 auto manufacturing and assembly plants to make electric vehicles. Now, it's all about the swing states, right? Michigan is just one of several swing states that they are targeting. But to be clear, the EV industry is one of the reasons why many of these union members are not necessarily excited about another term of Joe Biden, and many are going over to Donald Trump. And look, I mean, I said this all the week ago on the show. The leaders can endorse the candidate. The leaders can go out there and speaking and taking up Trump's piece at the convention. Joe Biden's going to lie and lead against the election. If you're Trump's on the notice, what is with Korea? U.S. shall occur weekend. He's a Biden press conference, but Jill Biden's
Let's start with last night, shall we? Rich, do you think that any undecided voter in your city watched Joe Biden last night and said, you know, that inspired me to pull the lever?
He called the president of Ukraine. It's not inspiring at all.
Collie, Pennsylvania is home to a lot of colleges. That means a lot of first-time voters will be exercising their constitutional right on November 5th. Here's Biden last night talking about this thought process of why he's backed away from really building a bridge to a younger generation of leaders. Watch.
What changed was the gravity of the situation I inherited in terms of the economy, our foreign policy, and domestic division. Most presidential historians give me credit for having accomplished more than most any president since Johnson or maybe before that.
Collie, are you buying that reason for Joe Biden hanging on dear life to this campaign? Basically, is Gen Z looking at Joe Biden and saying, you know, that's a historic president who's doing some historic things?
I'm totally sure that that's what nobody in my generation is saying. I think President Biden is historic probably for the wrong reasons, given his most recent debate performance. Ultimately, the president also joined TikTok, thinking that was going to rule over my generation. But we are smarter than that. We realize that most of the people who are our age cannot afford homes. The economy is not the way it was pre-COVID. So I don't think that these remarks or debate performance or TikTok is going to change any of our minds.
I think that's the case. I talked to a lot of young people. Nobody's like banging down the door for Joe, whereas there are some people that are pretty passionate about Donald Trump. Let's focus on the future now. We got a couple campaign stops in a great state, the Keystone State. Rich, do you know anyone going to see Joe Biden out of your community, your friends, your family, your neighbors?
I don't know if anybody wants to see Joe Biden, but I know at least about 100 people want to see President Trump at Butler.
100 people? Would you consider your area where you're from there, in and around your neighborhood, to be overly conservative, or is it a bunch of just independent folks who are looking for an answer, looking for some guidance as they try to pick our next president?
No, I'm in south side of Pittsburgh, which is very liberal, and the people I know are that are going are mostly conservative and blue dog Democrats.
Interesting. Collie, Joe Biden is in Pittsburgh. Let's be real. The reason she's there is to try and get some of the inner city minority vote for Joe. Will it work?
I don't think it will. Ultimately, like I said before, people are going to remember the status of their life in 2024 and compare that to pre-COVID. We're talking about turnout. I'm not expecting for Joe Biden to garner a great crowd. Governor Newsom was on the other side of the state. This time last week, barely 100 people showed up. Ultimately, I'm just expecting pandering to whomever happens to be Gen Z, Hispanics, Black Americans, you name it.
Interesting. Collie and Rich, such a fascinating perspective on, quite frankly, we talk about a lot of states that matter. Pennsylvania is kind of the one that matters the most, because if Joe Biden loses Pennsylvania, this thing's over. Have a great weekend to the two of you. We'll check back in with you. Meantime, we mentioned this a minute ago. President Biden is campaigning himself in Detroit today. The Detroit pastor who just hosted former President Trump is here this morning. Tell us what he is expecting for Biden today.
But first, did you see if your old Fox and Friends? Hi, Steve.
Hello, Carly and Todd at TGIF. Thank goodness it's Fox, right? Well, it's a big Friday edition of Fox and Friends. Kicks off 12 minutes and 5 seconds from right now. Just moments after Joe Biden wrapped up that major big boy press conference last night, another House Democrat called on him to step aside. And then another, and then another. That's not a good sign. And new reports say that even the Biden team is looking into a Trump matchup that does not include the current president. So how does it change the game for Trump? Where the top two VP contender, Governor Doug Burgum, is going to be live here on the capture. Plus, New York now a battleground state. Who better to ask about it than the New York Governor George Pataki? He's up by today. Also, ABC News finally reporting White House guests were concerned over Joe Biden's behavior at that Juneteenth concert. Remember where he didn't move a muscle? But now they're just telling us? Why didn't they tell us that? Bryce Priebus is here for that. And a preview of the RNC that kicks off in Milwaukee next week. And despite all the chaos, we are still making time for a little music. It is a Friday in the summer, and Donny Osmond is here for the All-American Summer Concert Series. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Donny Osmond is doing the sound check. This is so cool. So they're live. All show long kicks off in 9 minutes and 42 seconds, right here on the channel you trust.
Donny Osmond and Fox and Friends. Watch his can't-miss performance today. The All-American Summer Concert Series is presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
This dining home track, not for me. Now this is more like it. Same goes for my footwear. So I went hands-free with wide fit Skechers slip-ins. Just step in and go without bending down or touching my shoes. Wide fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins.
You guys blind?
Gotta get on it. Life insurance is put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. For less than $1 a day. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com. You shop, you save.
When I started my pillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products. Some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, $25. My Pillow Series, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all the keys and fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
Sunday, it's 2 huge finals. First the Heroes, Spain battle. Then the Copa America, that's Argentina. Yes, it's the Sunday mornings on Fox.
Lunch is on me today. Awesome. Why? I have some extra cash right now. I started using Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Wait, are you saying you get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app? Yes, I get real cash back every time I get gas. Does that actually add up to anything? I'll make around $200 to $300. Wow, that's serious extra cash. Right, you're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? It's like free money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now. Use this promo code and get an extra 25 cents a gallon cash bonus on your first tank. Thanks.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. Download the free Upside app now. Earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AWAY25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank.
Did you download the Upside app yet? Yes, of course. I'm not passing up free money. I'm earning real cash back now every time I get gas.
Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AWAY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. If you drive, you need Upside. Earn cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Plus, you can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. So whether you're driving around town a couple times a week or driving hundreds of miles every day, Upside is for you. Don't wait. Some Upside users are making as much as $200 to $300. Download the free Upside app and use promo code AWAY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code AWAY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Saturday. The media and the Democrat Party don't give a damn about the country. They only give a damn about their own power.
Fully discusses the last coverage of the 2024 race, plus checking on the takeaways from the critical NATO summit. Saturday on 5:30 in the morning. And now catch every episode the next day on Fox Station.
The national chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America is dropping its endorsement of New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because they say she's not fulfilling their pro-Palestinian requirements. According to the group, quote, many members have supported the national endorsement while at the same time demanding that AOC demonstrate a higher level of commitment to Palestinian liberation. They're also citing the Congresswoman's vote to affirm Israel's right to exist, as well as a panel she held last month on combating anti-Semitism. Because that's a bad thing. She will still get support from the organization's New York City chapter. What a development.
Think about it. The poster child of Democrat socials being dropped by Democrat socialists. President Biden is back on the campaign trail as he returns to Detroit today. And potentially dozens of Democrats are set to call on him to drop out in just the next 48 hours. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer won't be appearing with him, but she did go on the Breakfast Club to try and defend the watch.
Y'all should be offended. People will say, is this the best America has to offer? Is this the best the Democratic Party has to offer? And Biden?
The fact that they maybe don't, Joe Biden doesn't resonate as well with everyone, every voter that's out there. I think that every voter can see a voice, a person that is a part of this effort that does, though.
If you should debate it.
I don't know.
Stop talking like that.
It doesn't seem.
The only reason you talk like that is because you have no respect for your bigger brother who took you to all the bars and hookers and crazy shit, man. Reminds me of that.
Coming to your community over the course of a few weeks is quite something. What are you expecting to take place with President Biden's visit today?
Thank you so much for having me. I believe that President Biden is going to do what Democrats have done in cities like Detroit, Chicago, and other urban centers. Absolutely nothing. President Biden done nothing. He's been a career politician. And in our community, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We've had over 20 people shot this past weekend. My hope would be that President Biden or whoever running his campaign, they would go talk to those families. We have a high population of Muslims. We have a high population of the Jewish community. My hope would be that whoever's running his campaign would have the gravitas and the moxie to be willing to clarify the statements that he made yesterday about a two-state solution. That would be my hope, specifically as a Black American. And my hope would be that he would take time to drive down our communities that are filled with blight. People are getting shot every day. Our streets are not safe. And my hope would be that he would not walk around Detroit, shake hands and kiss babies and act like everything's okay. It is not okay. We are living in a context where our kids can't read, can't write, can't do math. We're living in a context where our teachers union just ratified gender-approved bathrooms. What are we doing? My hope would be he would cast a vision for a future that creates passion in our community.
Speaking of passion, following Donald Trump's passionate visit to your church pastor, did the presidency, President Biden's team, reach out to you to say, hey, give me a crack at your congregation?
I wish that would have happened. Todd, I wish it would have happened that he would come, but he thinks we're irrelevant, right? We're in a context where we can't write big checks. We're in a context where people really are suffering. And to be very frank with you, there are so many limousine liberals, so many people who don't live in poverty, but they speak for poverty. So many people are both Black and White Americans whose children go to private school, live in their communities, but they talk about Detroit any idea what's happening. So President Biden, he'll never come to our community. He'll never sit down and do what President Trump did in terms of actually listening to the aspirations and the longing. So yes, we've reached out, but it's been crickets.
How did that meeting go with former President Trump last month? What did you tell him and what was his response?
My desire for President Trump was what he's been saying since his campaign, make America great again. I've asked him to make Black America great again. And we spoke specifically about keeping the Black dollar in the Black community, and him being a developer, him being a billionaire, can help our entrepreneurs understand how to keep our dollar in our community. And he has continued the conversation. In terms of criminal justice, we are continuing to talk to the campaign. We talk almost every day about how our community is holding me accountable, right? When you have a president come to your congregation, I'm being held accountable too. So we're looking forward to what we can do to make Black America great again.
Trump had a 4-point lead in Michigan when Trump visited your church, Pastor. Did you get the sense that some of your parishioners that voted for Biden in 2020 were going to switch their vote for Trump in 2024? Need a quick answer, 15 seconds.
You know, we had people from the community, not people from the congregation, but people from the community that said that they were actually heard. They were former Democrats, went to Democratic gatherings, felt like they were pushed aside. They came to our church, listened to President Trump, and now they're saying that they're willing to vote for President Trump.
Pastor, tell us something special about you. So thank you for joining us this morning and sharing your thoughts with us. That was a great message. Your community is very lucky to have you, Pastor Sewell. Thank you for joining us.
And he dropped a Mary J. Blige reference in there in his first answer. Fox and Friends right now.
All right, it's 6 a.m. on the East Coast. It is Friday, July 12th. This is Fox and Friends. Slipping support. More Democrats call for President Biden to withdraw from the race after these major moments, or from these moments that stood out on his solo press conference yesterday.
I want to hand over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President, but I think she's not qualified to be President.
But he vows to stay in unless. Consider your decision to stay in the race.
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you could win. No, who says that?
Who says that? I can hear you whispering, sometimes yelling. But a new poll shows 67% of voters think that Biden should step aside.
Plus, apparently behind the scenes, Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi reportedly spoke privately at an emergency meeting on the phone about the president's political future. So will Democrats keep Joe or tell Joe it's time to go?
Fox and Friends starts right now this lovely Friday.
Donny Osmond Friday.
That's right. And remember, mornings are better with friends.
All right, we got the scary music. President Biden heads to the battleground state of Michigan today after a number of gaffes that last night at the debate. He got stuff in his very first question at last night's solo Big Boy.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President, but I think she's not qualified to be President. Let's start there.
Yeah, let's start there.
Biden calling his vice president Trump just hours after another mix-up that he made while introducing the president of Ukraine.
Now I want to hand it over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
President Putin.
You can beat President Putin. I'm so poor. I'm worried about it. Anyway, President on deck. You are a hell of
Good cover, so let's keep it right. All right, now more Democrats coming out last night after the gaffes telling Biden to step aside, including one senator and 16 House members.
And some of the headlines this morning. Democrats continue to find themselves
including he said Scott leaves the party.
Because we have been talking, you know, and get out the popcorn and a lot of Democrats who want him to go. And he did. He made a and there were a number of gaps. That's why the New York Times headline says Biden gaps his way through make or break Q&A. Any Dem convinced? But it is like a purgatory because they wanted him to blow it, and he did just enough. Bar is so likely fun. I thought he did fine. This was just. We already said what he makes to the but this is the worst possible scenario for Democrats. Yeah, because he didn't blow like he wasn't cool. There was no freezing moments. There was no. There was a typical Joe Biden this time. Saying Joe that Donald Trump was vice president, obviously terrible, but it's typical of Joe Biden when he announces he wants the dead congresswomen to stand up, and when he tells people their spouse is dead when they're alive. That's what Joe Biden has been doing. But this is the worst scenario. He's like, hey, this is my view on NATO. This is my view on Afghanistan. This is my view on when I'm going to come back and win. I get up. When I get knocked down, I stand up again. To me, he thinks he's fine. He is not going anywhere. His family doesn't want to go anywhere. You're going to have to find leverage or extortion to kick him out.
Well, to that point, though, I think you're right from the standpoint. Say the terrible debate did not happen. I don't think there would be any criticism from the media of this speech, because you're right, that's just a typical Joe Biden. But I think on the substance, even take the gaps out of it, the way that he spoke about the economy and inflation, I just lied to people. At no point did he say that I felt your pain. Then he decided he was going to take credit for the border right now because it's the summer and Texas has secured its portion of the border. He said everything was fine at the border. And then the most stunning thing, so much so that we got a reaction from Trey Yeats on Twitter. He said that Hamas is losing this support in Gaza, in the West Bank, which is totally untrue. If you look at the polling there and the support there, it's actually going up. From issue to issue, just lied through the press.
We all watched that last night. Yes, maybe in a situation we wouldn't have been talking about this as much as we are, but you can't erase the debate. In fact, spotlights on him. They have a big decision to make, the party does. But last night it was very bizarre. He was whispering sometimes, then yelling sometimes. He would trail off and say, well, anyways, and he said that 9 times. And then he was asked a question, and he said, I'm going to the Johnson Library. Well, anyway. And then he said, out of nowhere, control guns, not girls. Then he screams, more children killed by bullets than anything else in the world or in the U.S. He said, tomorrow, when I show up at the convention, he kept clearing his throat. I don't know what that's about. Maybe he's still sick or taking some sort of medicine. He addressed going to bed at 8 o'clock, and he said, well, it's smart to pace myself. And lots of mumbling. And then at the end, when a reporter, he was done taking questions, and they were trying to get him off the stage, and then one reporter asked him the question, you didn't realize you called your vice president Donald Trump. And then he says that the reporter says, well, Donald Trump's been tweeting about this right now, and he's been aware of it. How do you combat the criticism from tonight? And Joe Biden said, listen to him. Thank you. And then that's the end of the press conference.
Right. So he stood there and froze at the end. I didn't freeze. I shouldn't say that because sometimes he actually freezes. Yeah, like he should have just left. Right. He just stood there and thinking to myself, why is he standing there? And sure enough, someone stood up and said, yeah, Donald Trump called you out because you just called him the vice president. And believe it was a bad move. Right. Well, he said anyway every time he lost his place. It's like I had a train of thought. Anyway, what we have done is we have taken the 59 minutes of the press conference, knocked it down to 57. and we are going to snip it up rather more.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Here's a couple of minutes.
Yeah, come on in.
Joe Biden had a list of reporters. Of course, Fox is never on there. Some of the highlights that Ainsley was talking about, and this the law on Fox.
I'll take your questions. I've been given a call on here.
Reported that he defected earlier.
That's not true. Look, what I said was, instead of mine every day starting at 7 and going to bed at midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little. I love my staff, but they add things. They add things all the time. Very I'm catching hell from my wife. Anyway.
If you stay in the race, despite the concerns that voters say they have, and you lose to someone who you yourself have argued is unfit to return to the Oval Office.
I'm in this for my legacy. If I'm reelected, things are going to get much better. Our economy's growing. When unions do better, everybody does better. I'm not having any of my European allies come up to me and say, Joe, don't run. What I hear them say is, you gotta win. Control guns, like girls. More children are killed by a bullet than any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? That's not like the dies. If they think there's a problem, I promise you, greater than I think it's a problem. I think I should have a neurological exam again. I'll do it. I believe I'm the best qualified to govern. And I think I'm the best qualified to win. But there are other who could be Trump too. But it's all start from scratch.
I think it's clear that he's not getting out. And then number two, he completely throws his staff. That's the stupidest thing. Throws him under the bus. It's like it's throwing the producers, but you never do it. Throw him the crew because you don't do that. It's not going to go well. And then he confirms the reports about Joe Biden being upset. He's tired of it.
I think when he started making a list of all the attributes that Kamala brings to the table, and he said if she has to replace you, I was like, the answer should be, I am running.
I'm running.
Instead, he went through the myriad of things and reasons why she would make a great president.
He doesn't want to take
So Scott Peters is now out, the Democrat from California. Jim Himes says he's got to step out. It just brings me back. President Trump was on the radio with me Wednesday, and I asked, do you want Joe Biden or somebody else? He pauses and says, Mike, it's about policies. And that's what I brought up. He was bragging about Afghanistan. I don't do illegals in Afghanistan. Excuse me? But not only did you leave, when we were in Afghanistan, we had a handle on the terror. We knew what was going on. We lost all surveillance and intelligence capabilities really well. And the thing is, it's become Terror University now. And he never once spoke about the hostages in Israel. He was just speaking about Gaza and Hamas and Netanyahu. And then he talked about the institutions, the democracy in the Gulf. And we have to stop this conservative Supreme Court. Since when is conservative in the first place? That is politically conservative. You're on a court that is mostly conservative. But what is wrong with the institution? He's defaming and demeaning an institution while saying Donald Trump will defame and demean institutions. And while leading on the Project 2025, 900 pages, some of it good, some of it bad, some of it none of it bad. It's conservative doctrine.
It's about Heritage Foundation.
See, he listed, that was all over the place. There's like 12 things he listed with the Trump team would do with president. If they would, and they put it in the articles he's going to talk about. Don't make up scenarios about policies he doesn't back. Well, here's the thing. Joe Biden was at this NATO summit for 3 days, and the average American, unfortunately, did not understand anything he was talking about when it came to a lot of the foreign policy. When he went into the minutiae regarding China and Russia and other stuff, people's eyes glazed over. What is your question that David said? It was great, and it wound up with like a 12-minute answer, but he lost the audience, and he was mumbling, and it was very soft. So many people just wanted him to address the elephant in the room. Ever since 2 weeks earlier, a lot of people have been saying, Joe, you suck. You've got to get out. And so a lot of people wanted to hear him address that. After the debate, he said that he would not drop out unless the Almighty, God Almighty, said, Joe, over the interview. That's right. But last night, what he said, he's changed that. It's not God anymore. It's Gallup. Watch.
You earlier explained confidence in your vice president.
Yes.
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump, would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you could win.
Me? No one's saying that. No poll says that.
So no poll said that. Last night at times he went from old yeller to whispering judge.
Being honest with him.
He said at the end of the right team is not the very candidate. The age issue is a huge and potentially insurmountable, and his odds of victory are very, very slim. It's incredible. And the whole thing. It's like he did acknowledge that he's been hearing some of the stuff from the senators in Congress. But he says that it doesn't impact him that much because that's what happened. That's typical Washington behavior. They're always a senator. He was get nervous about it. And then that's when he started going through his own stories about when he was, I don't know why any of that was relevant to what we were discussing there. But I just gotta say, there were some good questions from the press corps, but they didn't hammer him as much as I thought they were going to bomb him. It was just over at that point. And typically, especially during the Trump years, when the president didn't quite answer the question, the next reporter behind him would say, hey, you didn't answer my colleague's question, and there was none of that. So they're still protecting him in a way.
Well, to David Axelrod's point, that the chances of a victory are slim. You look at the polls, whether or not they're correct or not, but the polls are showing that out of the 6 swing states, Trump is taking 5. He's tied in Wisconsin with Joe Biden. And if you look at this poll that is from the Washington Post, 67% said that they think he should step aside. 30% said he should continue, and then 3% didn't.
Right, and that was predicated on, that was done before last night's debate. That was all about the debate. It'll be interesting to see whether or not any of the polls change, given, and we're going to talk about the mainstream media reaction in just a little bit. But, he wasn't terrible last night. He wasn't great, but he was not terrible.
Which in my opinion is the worst scenario.
Right. It's a purgatory. And that leads us to this, Brian.
Yeah, on top of the House Intelligence Committee member is the latest Democrat to call on President Biden to withdraw from the 2024 race. There are now 17 Democratic lawmakers telling Joe directly to step aside.
Madeline Rivera has the latest scores. Good morning, Maddie.
Hey, good morning, guys. Like you guys are pointing out, the issue for Democrats is that the president didn't completely bungle at the news conference, but he didn't knock it out of the park either. And a lot of Democrats don't see that inconsistency as sustainable.
Can't have a situation where every day we're holding our breath, whether it's a press conference, debate, or a rally. And I think we're in a historic moment where the president can pass the torch.
It's really not about tonight. And one of the really sick aspects of this moment is that we are watching every speech, every rally, every debate, and saying, how did he do today? And that's just not the way to think about the presidency of the United States.
Congressman Jim Himes, who's a ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, is one of 17 Democratic lawmakers calling on the president to step aside. Congressman Scott Peters is also calling for the president to drop out after the president's news conference and says consent part. Today I asked President Biden to withdraw from the presidential campaign. The stakes are high, and we are on a losing course. Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez is even suggesting the president resign, stating Americans deserve to feel their president is fit enough to do the job. The crisis of confidence in the president's leadership needs to come to an end. The president should do what he knows is right for the country and put the national interest first. Now, CNN reports former President Obama and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have spoken privately about the president's campaign, saying, quote, CNN spoke with more than a dozen members of Congress, artists, and multiple people in touch with both Obama and Pelosi, many of whom say that the end for Biden's candidacy feels clear, and at this point it's just a matter of how it plays out, even after Thursday night's news conference. Ducey says he was actually planning to ask the president about that report
last night whether the president wants his former boss working quietly to replace him. Or Steve needs the
Right. Thank you so much, Ray. Why did he do like George Clooney? He wanted to stop that editorial. We could have stopped it. Why is he meeting with Nancy Pelosi behind closed doors? And I think this is going to reinforce what we all know, and that is the Biden camp was not going to hold the Obama camp. No. And this is going to make him dig in more when he finds out Barack Obama's sponsor. Because in 2016, he won with him.
This is all the DLC.
See, Pelosi, Obama, savvy politician. The headlines all day yesterday was that they were leading the charge to get. They cannot push those stories with a statement, some spokesperson, but instead they essentially turned out the heat.
I went to a fundraiser behind closed doors in Cleveland. We were closed last night with an investment banker said that this is like because Joe Biden's situation is like trying to take the keys away from the parents and laughed, and then followed up and said ultimately it's going to be Joe Biden and people around him will make the decision. But it's going to be Clinton. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Elijah anywhere?
Because you have half the vote wanting to stay and half that don't. And George Clooney, I don't think we've ever written that letter unless he ran it by without the blessing of Barack Obama and other Democrats. And the guy who said George Clooney, he produces movies, let him stick to that, was Congressman Steve Cohen. And he said that he's convinced a lot of people within the walls of Congress that Biden should stay in the race. You had Kate Bedingfield, she was the former comms director for Biden, said he needed to show up tonight, and he did.
Well, here's the thing. Remember Nancy Pelosi a couple of days ago on another channel said, let's just hold your fire, Democrats, don't say anything in public until the end of the week. In other words, until after exactly. So CBS is reporting today that apparently dozens of Democratic lawmakers in the next 48 hours, it's going to be coordinated, they're going to, en masse, say, Joe, you've got to go. They say, yeah, I know, CBS says that the Democrats say that behind the scenes, the next 3 or 4 days are going to be brutal for Joe Biden, and the expectation is that they will be able to squeeze him out by the middle of next week. And what happens now?
Right in the middle of the RNC.
I watched Lawrence editing this morning. Is this the montage you put together?
This is the montage right here. This is the media garage. Haven't they had him doing a lot more of these? That really is about as comfortable as he's going to get.
There was a moment at the beginning where he said Vice President Trump instead of Vice President Harris, but he did have lengthy answers on subject areas that he knows very well.
I think it's fair to say there were obviously some verbal missteps. There were some periods of haltingness, but also periods of genuinely impressive command and fluency.
His strong on foreign policy. He is just fundamentally right on foreign policy.
So give some credit where credit is due. There was a solid performance except for one flub.
Monday, Matt says that he's fundamentally right. I think to many years they're in a box now, because what do? He said that he's not going to leave the race. They don't want Donald Trump. They have to repair him in some way. It's the same thing for these representatives. They're saying step aside. At some point, they're going to pivot his move, and he decides, and he's already decided, that he's staying.
All they care about is I care about his mental health, and he's running the country now. If his mental health is fine, he's 58 years old, and he's just pulling back. That's the way they're approaching this, when they should say, I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he can do the job. He is making me worry. He's not showing up at work. He doesn't only work so well. Those things that matter.
We know that. We've been saying that behind closed doors for a long time. We're hearing lots of reports that we knew how bad he was. The debate just made it open.
Right.
But they like him being like that so they can make all the choices.
You have to get something across the whisper. Right. They really understand that. No, he was very correct. It was too direct. That's right. I needed whisper to make while leaning over. So as they try to figure out how to go forward, if Joe Biden saw that montage that we just played, he's not on me. They love me. I'm not going anywhere. Apparently, this coordinated attack these Democrats are planning in the next day or so. Essentially, what they're going to say is, you are going to
We're all going to lose our jobs because of you.
Yeah, you want your legacy to be Joe Biden loser. So that's not if you need anything to get done, just talk to Hunter right by the side. Unfortunately, he is. Really by our side.
Across the country and around the world. Starting in Pennsylvania, though, new overnight, a 4-story apartment building in Philadelphia is destroyed by a raging fire, leaving 3 people hurt. Firefighters were able to get it under control
I know.
after midnight, and this morning at least 50 residents are now homeless. Investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked those massive flames. A grandmother returned home to Orlando yesterday after being arrested on gambling charges in Turks and Caicos. She has been detained since May.
I'm truly glad in the whole scenario, right? God made so many wonderful people in my life along this journey, like to heal me out, to support me and everything. So I'm just truly glad through the whole ordeal.
After the ammo found in her bag, she was fined $1,500 and given a suspended sentence of 23 weeks. She was among the 5 Americans arrested there since February for the same crime, and they are all now back home. And Prince Harry accepted the Pat Tillman Award for service last night at the Xcom in Los Angeles. In his acceptance speech, he did mention Tillman's mom. She had previously criticized ESPN for giving the award to the Duke of Sussex. Her feeling is that it should have been given to someone with less natural privilege.
I'd also like to acknowledge the Tillman family, especially Mrs. Mary Tillman, Pat's mother. Her advocacy for Pat's legacy is deeply personal and one that I respect. The bond between a mother and son is eternal and transcends even the greatest losses.
Prince Harry's wife, Meghan, made a surprise appearance to support her husband. The award is given out to individuals who make significant contributions to the world, like former NFL player and U.S. Army Ranger Pat Tillman. He served in both Iraq and Afghanistan before he was killed by friendly fire in 2004. Those are
I heard they were really bad because they had to delay the start of the ESPYs because of the delay of the start of the Prince. They changed the time. Right. And initially it was supposed to start at 5:30, starting closer to 8. All right, thanks for calling. It's coming up next.
Donnie Osmond on Fox and Friends. Watch his can't-miss performance today. The All-American Summer Concert Series is presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
I got it.
Discover performance in rare form.
You got it. But she's delayed.
Get offers on selected sport models in the Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
I'm after Neverwinter. I'm playing the conference to be tracking bad guys and stuff like that. Now I understand the challenge of facing real pressure. That's why I'm asking you to support None of the Towers Foundation. For more than 2 decades, None of the Towers has been supporting America's greatest dreams. The foundation's continuing to pay off mortgages, phone calls. They're also building more smart homes and a stronger than they do. Now T2T is committing itself to eradicating veteran homelessness. Please donate $11 to support this by going to t2t.org or call 1-844. Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Let us do good.
22.
I actually got the last room for $190. I booked the last room a week ago.
I booked yesterday. Some sites panic you into booking their last room. Instead, TripAdvisor compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to $50 a night. Hotel? TripAdvisor. Well, I'm a paid actor, and this isn't a real company. There's no way to fake how Upwork can help your business. Upwork is half the cost of our old recruiter, and they have top-tier talent in everything from PR to project management. Because this is how we work now.
If you're shopping for a home, Realtor.com's Real Choice Financing lets you choose from up to 50 independent lenders. Unlike some apps that push you to use their mortgage company. Really? Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust.
The best things in life come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All fast, reliable, nationwide coverage. Make the switch today.
I'm Marcus Lemonis, and I'm serious about business. The Overstock team works around the clock across this country to find you the deals on top brands and deliver the goods. We hunt for factories to work with, for closeouts, liquidations, in categories like furniture, home goods, clothing, outdoor, collectibles, jewelry, and so much more. If you want it, we have it. When you buy it, it goes from the warehouse to your house. And let me be clear, we are Overstock, and we have the real deal.
Today, using artificial intelligence, and did not cost us a dime. Now we both get to save money.
Heather Perskovich will remain jailed on espionage charges.
Perskovich faces up to 20 years behind bars and found guilty.
Our prayers are with Baten at this point.
Just enjoying some downtime. It involves alcohol or drugs. Please remember that impaired driving is both dangerous and illegal. Take if you decide to stay in after all, well, maybe it's because best friends don't let best friends drink and drive. Thanks for helping to keep my place safe. Around the line, drive sober.
Last 2 years,
Yesterday, President Biden announced a $225 million weapons package. This is a new one to the country of Ukraine in a meeting with President Zelensky. But Biden's introduction is, of course, what is making all the headlines today. Watch this squabble.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You can beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we gotta worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President, I'm there. You are a hell of a
Boxers correspondent Ben Bigbone joins us now. Ben, what a mistake.
You know, I mean, Brian, Stephen, I'm saying it was a mistake, and it's a pity because look, this was the 75th anniversary of NATO. It was a time where they were coming together to focus on how they could help Ukraine push back against Russia. And there were a lot of incredibly positive things that came out of that. But much of that was overshadowed by the press conference last night. And I know that wasn't how it was supposed to play out, but briefly, we can talk about what happened in terms of Ukraine. You know, there was this irreversible path now to NATO membership in Ukraine. It's a significant word. 40 billion euros are going to be given to Ukraine over the next year. F-16s are going to be delivered as soon as the summer. A US Patriot system is now going to Ukraine faster than before. All of these things are really positive moves, and Ukraine is going to benefit greatly from them. But sadly, that has not been the headline that we're hearing about today, and that's been a pity for many of the NATO leaders.
Hey, Ben, can I ask you too? There was one question from the press corps that I thought you might have asked. Can you finally give Ukraine to do what Zelensky's been begging to do and be able to hit the weapons depots and the bases that Moscow is marshaling their attacks on Ukraine from? There are limitations to the weapons and limitations to weapon systems that we're giving to Ukraine. And they are begging Joe Biden to take off the handcuffs to no avail, apparently.
Zelensky has been very, very clear on this. You know, they want to use the ATACMS to fire further into Russia. The bases they can hit at the moment are only the small bases around the Ukrainian border. If they could go further, they could put a halt to so many of these Russian attacks. They could take out airfields, they could take out military depots, but they're not being allowed to do that. And still, that is the question that Zelensky keeps asking for. So yes, they keep asking for it. They've been given a little bit at a time. And Zelensky says the same. They need to be getting more. They need to be getting it fast.
Then Brett asked Zelensky, how closely do y'all follow the U.S. presidential election over there? And he said, more than you do, Brett. That's how much our politics matter to him. How much do our politics matter to the new UK Prime Minister and people across the pond in the UK where you live?
look, what we saw yesterday was the first meeting between the new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, and President Biden. And that's a really critical moment for a new Prime Minister. You sit down, you talk about the special relationship, you talk about moving forward. But again, that was not the headline we got. The questions going to Keir Starmer were solely, how is President Biden handling this? What was his condition? And it is a pity to see that. I know Keir Starmer was hoping to talk about more influential topics, but again, that story is overshadowing so many of the things that are happening. If you look at some of the papers in the UK today, the headlines on every page are about President Biden right now. Joe No was the front cover of The Sun. Biden fumbles his make or break moment. His chance to win over the doubters, he blew it. And it is a pity because NATO leaders look to the US as well for this kind of leadership, and at this point they don't have. They're also looking forward to a potential Trump presidency, and so NATO leaders are having to balance this out as Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister here. How do you prepare for NATO under a president, if President Trump is elected, who doesn't have such firm commitments perhaps to the money that's going into it from the US? And so NATO leaders, Keir Starmer, doesn't quite know which direction to go at the moment, so it's been interesting to watch.
And it's hard for European leaders to badmouth either Biden or Trump because they just never know who's going to be the boss.
That's right. They are really turning the line at the moment. And again, it's American leadership that so many people are used to looking towards that led the way. The many people feel they have to step back at least till November till they know which path they can take.
And just for the record, that he's going to finance NATO. He wants them to get to their threshold, and he likes that. He likes
absolutely. Brian, if you see some of the defence spending going on in the EU at the moment, it is rising increasingly. If you look at how much went into NATO under the last Trump presidency, it increased dramatically. And Jens Stoltenberg, the departing head of NATO, said exactly the same. He said, what we are suddenly seeing is a huge increase in the defence industries in the EU, and that's exactly, I think, where President Trump stands.
So Ben, we hear from our audience all the time. What's the update on Ben? How's life for him? How's he recovering? And dude, it looks like nothing ever happened to you. You've been out there reporting just like normal.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of my goals is always to get back to work. Look, I had a surgery about a month ago. I had some of the remaining part of my left foot taken out, and I've been in a wheelchair for a while, but this is my first day back at the London Bureau, and I'm a strong believer that no matter when you are held back, if something knocks you down, go away, you deal with it, and you keep coming back. This is the place I want to be. It's reporting, it's telling the news, and speaking to you guys. So, look, there's been a bit of a journey the last month or so, but we're going to keep telling stories. That's what I want to do, and
it's great you're back at your desk in the London Bureau. I would imagine you have several hundred voicemail messages on your phone because you've been gone for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, and that's that support that helps you get through tough times as well, so I really appreciate it, and it keeps you wanting to try harder.
You're an inspiration. Thank you so much. And God bless.
Thank you, too.
So Wisconsin, the radio station, admitting to their editing their interview with President Biden at the campaign's request.
We'll roll the tape for you, and then Dominic will react.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell people how you haven't done it. Start off as a chip, and it just keeps going. So what do we do now? Let's schedule an appointment at SafeLight.com. SafeLight Repair. SafeLight Replace. Yeah! SafeLight Repair. SafeLight Replace.
Have you always had trouble keeping sane?
Discover the power of Wegovy. With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds. Wegovy.
And I'm keeping the weight on.
Wegovy helps you lose weight. I'm reducing my weight. Wegovy is the only FDA-approved medical medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with heart disease and obesity or overweight. Wegovy should be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family have medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
Would you go me?
I'm losing weight,
I'm keeping it off.
and I'm lowering my CV risk. That's the power of Green. Green Coffee. Check your prostate coverage before talking to your healthcare professional. That would be good.
If you have generalized myasthenia gravis, picture what life could look like with Vyvgart Hytrulo. A subcutaneous injection that takes about 30 to 90 seconds. For one thing, could it be more time for you? Vyvgart Hytrulo can improve daily abilities and reduce muscle weakness. With a treatment plan that's personalized to you. Do not use Vyvgart Hytrulo if you have a serious allergy to any of its ingredients. It can cause serious allergic reactions like trouble breathing and decrease in blood pressure leading to fainting, and allergic reactions such as rashes, swelling under the skin, shortness of breath, and hives. The most common side effects are respiratory and urinary tract infections.
Okay, let's save this.
And injection site reactions